Okay, so today we're going to talk about the major differences in behaviors of the rich and poor. I first want to start off by stating that this is not as black and white as people may make it seem. Rich and poor aren't just adjectives that describe the numbers in your bank account or how well you're doing on the outside. They're two different states of the mind. What happens in your bank accounts are only byproducts of these states of your mind. Thinking otherwise is what's giving society the biggest misconceptions. By the way, I'm also assuming you're here because you're not exactly happy with where you are financially. That's completely fine, and that's exactly why I'm making this video. Hopefully this info helps. I'm also going to drop a gem on how you can make some quick money today. I'll never make a video without also giving you a leg up, so stick around for that. But anyway, let's get to it. Why are most people poor while less are rich? What's the behaviors of the have-nots, and how can I avoid falling into that bucket? I will give you a few key takeaways from my experiences. First off, you have to understand that if you're poor or financially struggling, it's because we were already conditioned to think a certain way. Do you know that people who came from where me and you are coming from, and where many of us still are, look at investing like a loss of money out of their bank accounts? They feel like savings and a budgeting plan is depriving them of being able to live a life and have fun. They don't look at these things like it's in their best interest. They look at it like a chore they didn't want to do as kids. But those same people will also buy a bunch of liabilities with no hesitation because of how it makes them feel or look. These people are usually on the lower income side, which keeps them in a state of mind of being down on a regular basis, living paycheck to paycheck. This state then triggers them to impulsively buy whatever they couldn't throughout the year. So this explains why people get their tax refunds, settlement checks from lawsuits, lottery paychecks, or however they get their lump sums and tend to squander them, and fast. This entire complex causes them to stay down forever and skip out on what could change the trajectory of their futures and their kids' futures. Number 2, poor people are forced to think impulsively and live in the moment. They'll speak on the future and what they wish they could or hope or would like to do in the future, but in reality their actions will often show that they've completely lost hope on being the best version of themselves financially. Also, most financially challenged people don't value time nor understand that it's the biggest commodity. They tend to watch too much TV and consume way too much entertainment. They often stay busy doing ineffective things. Some of them take pride in hard work because it makes them feel busy to avoid looking lazy to their parents, grandparents, and peers. This old school way of thinking must stop. Most aren't even happy with their career or jobs, but they'll do it anyway because they're afraid of being frowned upon or losing their small means of security. The hard truth is, hard work needs to be smart work. Number 3, poor people tend to try and do easy things their entire lives. While in some cases attacking the lowest hanging fruit can be beneficial, it is not beneficial for the majority. The problem is most people don't realize that there's something called the labor market. You will be paid based on the specific set of skills you have. You can't expect to make millions doing things that billions of other people can also do, like flipping burgers. This is the harsh reality of why success seems so far out of reach for most. They can't wrap their heads around why it's so hard to move forward. Their skills just simply aren't that valuable. Number 4, poor people also think success is a limited resource and aim to sabotage others. This will completely stop them in their tracks because they start to focus on what others are doing and spend all of their time trying to stop other people who weren't trying to stop them in the first place, instead of putting all of that time and energy into working on themselves and trying to get better at what they do. This leads to subpar performance, bad outcomes, and don't forget, karma will always serve justice. And last but not least, poor people tend to think that every bad outcome is never their fault, but speak highly of themselves when they happen to win, taking all of the credit. They remain negative, they spew out excuses on why others made it instead of themselves. This ultimately keeps them down as their whole perception of life is unhealthy. This mindset then tricks them into thinking that being successful is evil or intangible without compromising their morality. They don't believe it can honestly be obtained, and people who have it had to inherit it. These are all excuses they tell themselves to feel better about their low performance. They also hang around other poor performers, and they usually speak less of others who seem to be ahead of them. Okay, now let's talk about the rich. Rich people tend to understand the importance of money management. Budgets and savings are crucial, and they would rather buy assets versus liabilities when spending. They are very intentional with their spending. Where most are fulfilled with buying junk and accessories, rich people get a kick of dopamine from accomplishing big goals and purchasing assets or anything that promotes growth. This setup allows them to almost perfectly map out their future and make their goals very obtainable, and they've completely put themselves in predicaments that allows them to be focused and away from distractions. Even the content they consume is intentionally consumed. Number 2. Rich people focus on self-growth and building themselves up, which causes them to walk and talk with a sense of confidence that can easily be mistaken as arrogance to people who are subconsciously poor. They speak very highly of themselves because they believe that they can truly do anything and hang around other high performers. They are very self-aware and they often become leaders out of a group, and people will flock to them because they speak with certainty. They don't play defense. People will either love or hate them. They also don't care who hates them because they primarily focus on who loves them. They have completely wired their brains to seek out only the positives in life. And number 3, successful people normally don't believe in a traditional way of thinking and think outside the box. They're not institutionalized. They spend a lot of time going at the high value. They know in order to get high value out of life, they must possess high value skill sets. They understand that they will be valued by what value they bring to the table. They often love to challenge themselves, and doing easy things doesn't make them feel as good as they are critical of growth and challenging themselves. They understand that nothing worth fighting for is easy. This entire complex and mindset often leads to bigger and more consistent payouts financially. And here's a quick tip. People want to buy into confidence, not uncertainty. So when you don't speak highly of yourself with the needed skills to match, people can see that. With that being said, you need to obtain high-level skills and stay relevant in this ever-changing market. I strongly suggest obtaining a skill stack of sales development, marketing, content creation, stock option trading, and pick up at least a 2-year trade to service people around you if that's the route you want to go. These skills have high payouts, and your job needs to involve some of these skills in order to fund your dream effectively. Number 4, rich people normally take the blame for everything purposely. Even when it's technically not their fault, they take complete ownership of problems and understand that they are in complete control of their lives no matter what. This mindset allows them to excel in life because they don't spend time moping or blaming. When things don't pan out, they go to the drawing board and figure out what they could have done better and will do better going forward. This gives them an action-based mindset and they get things done with full accountability. And last but not least, rich people believe in living a life of abundance with plenty to go around. They believe success can be achieved by anyone. They don't feel threatened by people in their lane, as success is not a limited resource. Their only focus is to be great. Okay, so as promised, here's a couple of gifts from me to you. First, we have a simple sign up with a specific link in my description to open up a brokerage account with Webull Financial, which allows you to buy and sell stocks. There's a promo going on right now where they are currently giving out anywhere between $30 to $3,000 when users simply deposit only 1 cent after signing up and opening an account. Yep, just 1 cent. New users normally get a quick $30 though, just to be honest, but it's still a no-brainer and free money basically. No catch involved, so do that now. Last up, here's a great way to scale up and make anywhere from $60K to $100K annually by breaking into technology sales. This career path revolves around one of the skill sets that I stated earlier, which is sales development. It is not as technical as it sounds, so don't worry, you don't need to know how to code. You will simply be in charge of bringing in new business for some of the world's largest technology companies. If you have sales experience, this is a no-brainer and will sharpen you up in the business-to-business world. But if you don't, still don't worry. This course will teach you exactly what you need to know, and you can become certified within 4 weeks of the program and have hundreds of recruiters seeking people just like you who possess this skill set. Your return on investment will be enormous. You can also get $50 off with the link that I'm providing you with today below in the description. So what are you waiting on? Just click on the link I provided, watch the introductory videos, and roll with the discount that I'm providing you with and change you and your family's life today. So there you have it. I've stated some of the most common differences between the rich and the poor so you can get rid of the bad habits and hopefully adopt good ones. I just gave you 2 things that will generate a great return on your small investments and change your lives as well. Hope you all enjoyed this video and gained a lot of value. And if so, please feel free to subscribe to my channel as I continue to bring value and help spread the knowledge. Until next time, peeps.